Hi, I'm Carol Andrews, and welcome to the special episode of SWTV News. On today's show, we'll be counting down the top 10 stories of 2017. We'll kick things off with number 10, as hockey fans pack the iPlex in Swift Current to see the Montreal Canadiens alumni on the ice.
Hockey is a favorite pastime for many, and having the chance to meet some of NHL's greatest players of all time is a dream come true for any fan, especially if the Montreal Canadiens are your team. The Montreal Canadiens alumni were recently in Swift Current to face off against the Swift Current Emergency Services team, a charity event which saw proceeds from the evening game going towards the Saskatchewan Hockey Hall of Fame and the Safe Places Initiative. And for lifelong Montreal fans like Larry Johnson and former Mayor Jared Schaefer, the thrill of being a part of the Canadiens lineup behind the bench and on the ice was a dream come true.
I was asked by the committee that I would be if we had we had to go out and get sponsors, and I had a good friend, Barry Cuthbert, that went out and got a bunch of sponsors, and then I was told that I was going to be assistant coach for the Canadian team. So it's kind of an honor, and I'm looking forward to the evening.
This is amazing. The Canadiens really are a first-class organization in how they handle this game and the effort they put in. So just really appreciative. It's an exciting night in our community.
An event which former NHL player Sheldon Kennedy was happy to lace up his skates for with the Swift Current team, while playing against some of his former World Junior teammates like Patrice Brisebois and Stéphane Richer.
I think it's really important to give back, and a lot of times giving back isn't just giving money, it's about giving time. And sometimes we wonder why we're doing what we're doing and why we're giving, but for me it always seems to feel better after you give a little bit. And if I can show up today, I know it means a lot to the city, I know it means a lot to the people.
And as the Montreal Canadiens alumni play over 40 games across Canada throughout the season, the Swift Current stopover was not only a walk down memory lane, but also a way of giving back to their fans.
It is important because you had a chance to meet your fans and the people from the city you're playing, and people are so nice and so kind, and that's the chance to meet them and talk to them, and people ask questions, sign autograph, and it's a good timing and good time to meet the fans, and it's always nice.
Most of us come from small towns. We've all been little. We've all played minor hockey. We've all come across people that needed help, whether it's a community center, whether it's, in this case, the Hockey Hall of Fame. So we understand that it's good to help out and give back at the same time. So it's a privilege for us to get to travel together, hang out together, laugh, and act like a bunch of kids together while helping others. About 3 years ago, I believe we helped raise about $900,000 in playing about 60 games. So when we think about it that way, we feel like we're doing something.
And although the alumni lineup on the ice may span several generations, their love of hockey and for their team is a common bond.
See, it doesn't matter if you play the 80s, the 90s, or year 2000. We used to play with the same team. That's our job. And the guys, they got a lot of story. That means they know some guys, we know some guys, and when you travel and when you play together, it's great.
The final score in the Swift Current charity game was 10-7 in favor of the Montreal Canadiens, leaving lasting memories for those on the ice and in the stands. Wishing you a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from the staff and management of Pioneer Co-op, celebrating 80 years in Southwest Saskatchewan. Wishing you the best this holiday season and into the new year from Mayor Dennis Perreault, City Council, and staff of the City of Swift Current. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from the management and staff of Chinook Refrigeration and Air Conditioning, serving Southwest Saskatchewan since 1976. Wishing you a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from the management and staff of Pinnacle Financial in Swift Current.
Our number 9 story of the year takes us out to Maple Creek, where the local landfill received national recognition.
The town of Maple Creek is known across Canada for its mild weather, and now it's also known for its landfill. Maple Creek was recently announced as the national winner in the Community in Blooms contest, receiving 5 blooms, a bronze rating, and a special mention for their innovative landfill site. A one-of-a-kind landfill, thanks to the efforts of Lynn Needham, the environmental manager for the town, who believed the site could be spruced up and offer more to patrons by using recycled materials.
Basically cleaned the garbage up to start with, trimmed the trees. I requested a lawnmower from the town, cut the grass, and I started planting trees that the florist was throwing away, or any trees that I could gather out here, and flowers, and again, it's just sort of evolved into what it is now. It's a green space that the town owns, and that's what we're trying to make it into, is something that's aesthetically appealing, and as opposed to a dump, we're creating a landfill park.
Needham says that the transformation of the landfill has also garnered new partnerships in the community, including these birdhouses along the fence.
The birdhouse project that you saw on the way in is something I've involved the grade 4 art class in, with repurposed and reused boards from here. They've had birdhouses made, and then the art class has colored them and made their own designs and things on them. And then they come out here, generally speaking, earlier in the spring, before the birds that occupy the houses come. And we, as a class project, we help them put them up, and that's just another thing that goes along with what we're trying to create here.
And as Needham draws more attention to the landfill through inquiries from other communities of its overall upkeep to this 2-hole golf course, he also hopes to extend the life expectancy of the site while helping the environment.
I would like to get a little bit more innovative, as I said, with some more composting plans that we have in the future, continue filling the land up. The projections are close to 60 or 70 years that it could last here, and who knows, in that time maybe they find out you can put a little pellet this big and send it off into outer space, and you don't have to worry about it anymore.
In the coming weeks, patrons of the Maple Creek landfill will see more transformations at the site, with decorations for Halloween, followed by the Christmas season.
Our 8th biggest story of the year surrounds Canada's 150th celebration, which brought communities together across the country.
The 79th annual Frontier Days drew a crowd out to Kinetic Park as it continued a summer tradition for Swift Current and area, offering an array of entertainment for all ages over 4 days. This included the celebration of the 100th anniversary of 4-H in Saskatchewan, bringing youth into the spotlight through the livestock shows and equestrian competitions, to the ever-popular CCA Rodeo, which filled the grandstands show after show, an annual event bringing the community together.
Because we get to celebrate where we came from, our Western heritage, and I just love that, you know, because we all came from ranchers, and agriculture was a big part of it. So for me, that's the best part. Plus, it's where I can bring my kids and my grandchild, and it's a safe environment, and we just have fun.
Well, for some, like Wade Rempel, Frontier Days is a walk down memory lane.
Well, I used to come here when we were kids, and Dad used to pick up here for Myers in the early 50s and 60s, and we'd come here as kids, and I remember, you know, seeing Tom Hughes and Mel Coleman and, you know, guys like that riding broncs, and it was always special, and it was the biggest event that we ever come to as kids. And when I started to pick up here, it was an honor to come here.
The Midway also offered an array of entertainment from thrilling rides to exotic wildlife. And indoors at the stockade among the many vendors was the ever-popular Maple Leaf Fudge booth. Debbie Shand is originally from Niagara Falls and now calls Swift Current home for the past 20 years. A familiar face at Frontier Days, she travels the trade show and exhibition circuit for 6 months out of the year, selling the crowd favorites like caramel apples and the famous Maple Leaf Fudge, a recipe which she's mastered over the years, offering up to 36 flavors, including jalapeno, maple bacon, and strawberry.
You have to get the fudge to the proper temperature or it won't set. If you go too high, it's too hard. If you go too low, it's just very runny and you can't use it. When the temperature is, you pour it onto the granite, and then the granite cools it down. So about 15 minutes after that, you can cream it, which just means you're walking around the table and you're putting air into it, which gives it texture. And about 5-10 minutes after that, you can put it into the box, and about 15 minutes after that, you cut it.
Coinciding with Frontier Days was the Canada 150 celebration, which saw crowds lining the streets of Swift Current to watch the over 100 entries in the annual parade. Float after float saluted Canada's special day, while pleasing the crowd with a candy treat. The celebration moved on to Memorial Park, where guests dressed in a sea of red and white, marking the occasion of Canada's 150. Among those celebrating was Ikashana Degala. Ikashana moved here from the Philippines 8 years ago with her family, and now officially a Canadian citizen, was given the honor of raising the Canadian flag, an experience she won't soon forget.
Just the weight of the responsibility on my shoulder, right? Raising the flag, not just the act of raising the flag, but being at the Welcome Center, being a new Canadian citizen, and just embracing the Canadian citizenship, and of course my being a Filipino as well.
A day of celebrating Canada's 150th, while showing community pride, a sense of volunteerism, and unity.
Canada Day means we live in a country where we can free and do things, and it just means a celebration.
Over 1,200 participants took part in the Canada 150 celebration at Memorial Park, hosted by Tourism Swift Current and its presenting partners.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from the Dr. Noble Irwin Regional Healthcare Foundation, keeping healthcare strong in Southwest Saskatchewan.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from Gus, Louie, and George at the K Steakhouse and Motel. Book your Christmas party or New Year's celebration today. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from David Anderson, Member of Parliament for Cypress Hills Grasslands.
Moving along with the countdown, we're at number 7, and Doras House, and the unfortunate twist of events which led to its closure.
The dream of a Southwest Youth Emergency Shelter was realized in 2016, with the sod turned in Swift Current in early July, followed by its grand opening in November. A community-driven project which was constructed through cash and donations of labor and supplies from businesses across the Southwest. And after opening its doors to youth in January, the board has now come forward, saying it's facing a financial crunch for its day-to-day operations and will be closing Doras House.
The staffing cost obviously is a significant part of the cost, and so that's kind of what we've gone to government with. Is we've said, look, the community built this building without government really putting anything into it. We built this building. We can operate this building. We have a board of directors. It's a volunteer board of directors, so we operate it entirely as a volunteer board. It's been built with completely donated labor and a lot of donated materials, and we have a staff that's a group of fantastic people that are willing to put everything they can into it. And we have a community that continues to support it with food donations, clothing, household supplies, all kinds of donations that come in. Really, it would be in the range of $25,000 to $30,000 per month. Which is a significant cost. I think in terms of the the big picture of government budget is not necessarily a particularly significant cost, but yeah, that's the range of money we would be looking at.
Hale adds that layoff notices have been given to the 15 staff at Doras House, with hopes of rehiring them once the financing is secured to reopen the facility. A worthy service, which has already assisted numerous youth from across the Southwest.
We've been well over 25 youth. We're well over 500 bed stays at this point in time. Again, since those numbers came out, we maybe are even starting to push 600 bed stays. So what I mean by that is the number of kids that were in a bed per night. So that's well over 500 nights that a young person was here, safe, healthy, protected, with food in the fridge and a hot shower in the morning, and some staff with some direction and guidance in terms of where things can go to get back on track. In addition to that, we've had well over 20 other connections with young people that did not result in a bed stay. So kids are coming here, and they're coming here for a variety of reasons.
Now, as the board of the Southwest Youth Emergency Shelter tries to find funding for its day-to-day operations, it will keep the lines of communication open with the province, including this impromptu visit by Social Services Minister Paul Merriman.
We're not looking at any budget decisions right now. I'm just trying to get a feel for what's happening out in the levels or in the communities as far as Moose Jaw. I've been up in Saskatoon, obviously my hometown, heading to Humboldt, just finding out what's happening at the local level, what programs are working, what ones we can help out with, and what ones that we could be helping a little more efficient.
A valued service to local youth, and one which the City of Swift Current has supported from the start. However, going forward, the city's mayor says there will be no further funding.
The city contributed $50,000 at the onset, and we shared with them that we would only be participating in capital, and so we did that. We also waived their taxes every year, which is a choice that this council's made, and so that's our contribution. That's the way we're able to contribute to that.
So no operational dollars then?
No, there won't be any operational dollars. They've met with us initially when it started, and that was before I joined as the mayor, and that was the message that was shared then, and it's shared now.
And as the future of Doras House unfolds in the coming weeks, Southwest TV News will continue to follow this story.
And our sixth biggest story of 2017 made history in Swift Current with the first ever Pride Week.
History was made in Swift Current with the first ever Pride Week declared in the city, as the LGBTQ flag was raised at Market Square, and a rainbow crosswalk is now in place on Central Avenue, bringing Swift Current residents together for numerous events, including this family barbecue, a week of festivities which city officials were eager to support.
We are a safe and caring community, and everybody here is welcome, and we want everyone to know that no matter what you are, who you are, you're welcome here, and we encourage diversity and all kinds of things in our city.
An overwhelming sense of accomplishment by members of Southwest Pride, who have long hoped for this sense of welcomeness in the community.
I think a lot of really good community building events will be happening out of this week, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a much larger event next year. But it's really important for the LGBT community in Swift Current and southern Saskatchewan, in small towns across Saskatchewan, to see what we've done here and that we've received such broad, widespread support, because things have changed. The culture has changed. That's why our Swift Current Pride Week has been so successful. We were just riding a wave that has already happened.
The Crimin adds that the outgoing support from residents of the Southwest is also sending a positive message for the youth, who played an integral role in Pride Week.
They have come from Chinook School Division's Gay Straight Alliance group, and these groups have just started within the past year, and they've really been leaders in making these events of Swift Current Pride Week happen. We're very proud of their initiative, their planning, their courage in doing this, and the youth have been such a major part in this movement, and I think our future is bright when we look at Saskatchewan becoming a more diverse, inclusive, and welcoming place.
More information on Southwest Saskatchewan Pride and their upcoming events can be found online.
For over 12 years, Southwest TV News has provided the visuals for the defining moments in our community.
Support your community and help us to continue our work. Support our sponsors by watching the ads on YouTube and by clicking the ads on our website. Pennies per click, which will help us continue to bring you the award-winning news coverage you've come to expect from Southwest TV News.
Well, this wraps up part one of our countdown of the top 10 stories of 2017. I hope you'll join us here again next time as we make our way to number one. From all of us here at Southwest TV News, we wish you a very happy New Year. I'm Carol Andrews.